Good morning, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. We had a national championship last night, guys.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did. And it was a hell of a good game, honestly.
It was a good
really
game.
Nice game.
It was a good game. It looked like it might get out of hand early, and then Miami responds, and it became a nice battle. Defense is definitely showed up.
Till about the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything went to haywire. Better game than I expected, actually.
Well, yeah, you thought they were going to blow them out.
Yeah.
Well, and it kind of looked that way.
At first, yeah.
But
when you're only putting up 18 yards, like we said earlier, when you put up 18 yards in the first quarter, and it doesn't look they have any offense whatsoever. The only one that got off, I think, the bus before in the first half was the defense. I think the offense stayed on the damn bus. At least that's the way it looked.
Yeah, they ended up with like 69 yards for the first half.
Yeah.
Now, Indiana didn't have a ton either. I think they had 169 yards for the first half. So, it wasn't like a crazy, runaway or anything like that.
No, both defenses definitely competed really, really nicely. Honestly, that was a damn good defensive first half.
It was worthy of a national championship.
It was, especially the final 6 minutes.
For sure.
I'm trying to remember the last national title that was really that close or that competitive, but on both sides of the ball.
Was that Jameis Winston winning it at the end for Texas?
When Clemson won it with Deshaun Watson, where they got that touchdown with like 3 seconds left in the game against whoever Clemson. Was it Ohio State that Clemson beat that year?
I think you're thinking of the Vince Young against SC. Yeah. That was against Pete Carroll and SC.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think
that was the last good year for Mac Brown before it just matter of fact, that was probably the last good year for Texas before it was done for a long time.
Yeah, but with the win last night too, Indiana made history as the only school in the country to have an undefeated college basketball champion and an undefeated college football champion.
Well, not only that, but interestingly enough, it's the first year that they've had these extended playoffs. Mm-hmm. There's never been a college team that's won 16 games.
Nope, Michigan had the previous high with 15 2 years ago.
I will say, though, Yale in the early 1912, I believe it was. I looked at that.
1897.
Yeah, 1897. They were the last one to have a perfect season.
Yeah, they were 16-0 that year too, but it wasn't the same format.
No, I'm not saying it's the same. I'm just saying that was the last time we saw that type of a perfect season.
Yep.
Yeah. And actually, that's why I think Indiana is so much more impressive because they had more games added on to it. They were still able to get that feat.
Think about this. Was it 3 years ago? The national championship went like 12-0.
Well, it would have been probably like 14-0 because if you have your 12-game season, then you have a conference championship game.
But it wasn't so long ago.
Yeah.
That it was like 12 or 13-0 was enough. 3 extra games is a lot. And this was probably the hardest game for Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me wonder if Indiana was Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, would they be considered the greatest team of all time?
I still think they are.
I think they are as well, but I don't think they'll get the accolades like that.
They have a, and I hate to say this just because the media is the media, it is what it is. But even the last 2 years, like even last year, nobody gave Indiana the respect they deserved last year. They literally started the year 11-0 before losing to Ohio State, the second last game of the season. And then they ended up losing in the college football playoff to Notre Dame, who ended up going to the national championship. Then they came into the year this year, and they were ranked, I think, 22 or 23 to start the year. They go and beat up on Illinois on the road when Illinois was a top 10 team. They follow that up by going into Oregon and dominating Oregon at Oregon, and yet still people have not given Indiana the respect like that Indiana has deserved the last 2 years. They still consider this like, oh, this is a fluke. This is a fluke. Well, then you look at the transfer portal. Look what Cignetti's bringing in next year on the portal. This team is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yep.
I think it's just because Indiana was never known as a football school, and so it took a lot of people a long time to get used to that they have actually got a football program there. So I mean, I think that's just more people who aren't used to Indiana being in it, and so they were kind of reluctant to give them that accolade until they saw something really tangible from Indiana. And now that he has a national title, and then obviously look at the season that he had, now there's something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't get any more tangible than that. So I think going forward, honestly, I think obviously you're going to see a difference where they are now. But I think people they were reluctant to give them that level of credibility.
And if you look even back towards the Big Ten championship game when Indiana played Ohio State, nobody picked Indiana to beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. All 5 of the people on the panel picked Ohio State to win that game. Indiana wins. Indiana gets Alabama the first game of the college football playoffs. 3 of the 4 panelists picked Alabama to beat Indiana. The only one that doesn't is obviously Pat McAfee. Indiana wins that game. Go to Oregon, same thing. 3 of the 4 pick Oregon to win. Indiana wins. And then last night, 3 of the 4 panelists picked Miami to win besides Pat McAfee. It's like everyone sees what Indiana's been doing to these teams. But yet they're like, nope, we're not going to pick them. Nope, we're not going to pick them.
Yep. Yeah, no, and most people associate it with basketball school. And Donna, I mean, yeah, you should probably watch some college ball. You'll have to start next year, but
oh, that's awesome.
But and your first question there, is it like the NFL? I guess it depends on what you mean. Is it like it because it's football? Of course. Some of the rules are a little different.
Yeah, like they start at the 25. They still do normal kickoffs.
There's a lot of history still involved in the way they play football. The hash marks are still further out. Like there's a lot that's different, but the basic premise is obviously the same.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever really liked the when they get the first down, they stop the clock. I never really liked that one.
Just to move the chain.
Yeah, as soon as they set the chains down, they keep it going. So,
yeah. But do they do that? But they don't do that in the NFL, I don't think, do they? Like when they're moving chains, like how do they?
Yeah, well, no, because the chains do not stop the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and the chain gang is, in the NFL, they're on the move. They're hustling because basically they're trying to get there by the time they place the ball. So there's not that delay, I guess.
I was thinking about you gotta have some really athletic people, I think, to be on those chains, like you said, Bo, because they have to constantly be running and moving and doing stuff. I mean, up and down that field.
You're running like 10, 15 yards, even if it's deep down the field.
Yeah,
you got to get all the players down there and everything too. So I mean,
there's a guy in the NFL that was one of the chain gangs for the Steelers and Texans first playoff game that's been doing the chains for 49 years. He's like 81 years old, and D'Amico Ryans was like talking to him on the sideline. How long have you been doing this? 49 years, and he's like, damn, you're in good shape for this.
Yeah, nah, because he's like, you're still enjoying it. He's like, oh yeah.
Think of all the games he gets to go to.
Right, still enjoying it.
Think of how many games
get plowed over.
Think of how many games he's been at since he said he was doing it since 1975. Like that is
Super Bowls he's probably been to. He's probably been to like countless Super Bowls too.
Yeah, could be.
I'm curious to know, like, what do they get paid? Like, I wonder what their pay scale looks like. Is that like a $70,000 job, $50,000 job?
No, they don't anything.
Yeah, they're probably making something like $600 to $800 a game.
I think it's $1,500 a game is what I think it is.
Well, I think that's somebody different. That's the guy who holds the down marker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a whole bunch of different scales across.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. In any scenario, like they don't make much money.
I think they do it for the perks.
It's better than the volunteer job that you have at the high school level.
Right.
Oh, jeez.
I was thinking he'll enjoy that for another couple of years until Derrick Henry plows him over on the sidelines, and he's like, man, maybe it's time to get out of here. Can't move as quick as I once did.
Another couple of years, Derrick Henry's not even going to be in the league, man.
I think if Derrick Henry plows that man, he may not ever get up. I mean, at 81 years of age, I got to imagine those bones. I mean, at some point, they're a little hollow. They're a little brittle.
If Derrick Henry ran over anybody on this panel, I don't know if we're getting right back up.
Hell no. Hell no. I would expect Derrick Henry to pay my medical bills, though. You don't get that bill.
Speak for yourselves. I can take a hit.
Yeah. Sure you can, Pags. No,
I don't know if I'm dialing up.
You got a little beef on you. You probably be all right.
I don't know if I'm deliberately dialing up getting ran over by Derrick Henry today.
No, but interestingly enough, it was something that I actually asked to do with the Eagles. Like, hey, listen, let me wear the pads one day and get tackled. Like, let's do like a blocking drill or a rushing drill with an offensive lineman to show just kind of how tough it really is and stuff like that. And I was thinking, like, okay, because you can't do it with a normal player, so I'd have to get a retired player. Well, who's somebody who's close to my size that's just retired? Jason Kelce.
You're gonna tell it.
Yeah.
And Kelce would probably absolutely take that on and be like, yeah, okay.
He would kill me. He would absolutely kill me. But yeah, no doubt. But I mean, I am, like I said, I am 245 pounds. I am not by any stretch like soft. You know what I mean? It's like, but I'd get my ass kicked. You know what I mean? But that would be what I signed up for.
Right.
That was my point. Not that it would kill us.
Right. Yeah. No. But I'd get back up and do it again. Like we would do these drills, you know, and I would actually
get a concussion though. Somebody in concussion protocol.
Well, so the difference here is he's talking about also being padded up. I was talking about if you were the chain gang and you got ran over by a padded up.
Geez.
Oh God, yeah, that's a whole different scenario. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Think of these camera guys that can't get out of the way sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, some of those people get hurt.
Yeah. And I don't think they'd want the liability. Whatever field you were doing that on, Oregon, I mean, that would be a lot of liability.
There's no liability because you sign all that away.
Oh,
like, This is for content for me. And let me tell you, if I couldn't get up, that video right there would get millions upon millions of views. People would be so excited that I didn't get up.
Oh yeah. Especially your buddy, Jamie or Brian, right?
Oh yes,
Whatever.
yes. And I still have friends of his that come find me and have me make him a video.
Oh, that's
He's
funny.
Still hating. He is still hating.
What was that one? I think he was throwing furniture or whatever, or he was outside of his place. No, it was the eagle. It was the eagle that took his ass and flew away. That was awesome.
Oh, that was I was right out front of that was in my backyard over here.
Yeah,
that
when
was
the eagle
Chris
comes down
Nady.
and grabs him and then takes him away. That was awesome.
Yeah, if you got hurt on that, he'd watch that short 5 million times. Like you would have it be a viral by one person.
Right.
He would just have it on loop in his house.
Especially if there was sound to it that went, oof.
Yeah, right.
That oof was. Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. Like if we just did a one-on-one with the running back. You know what I mean? And not doesn't even have to be like a real running back. Could be like somebody who's just running with the ball, so I have to tackle them. Yeah. You know, like I gotta shed the block and tackle him, or I gotta block and make sure that he doesn't get tackled.
Oh man, I would pay so much money. Oh man. And if they let me tackle him, I'd give up every possession I have in my life just for that opportunity. God, that feels so good. I power drive his ass so hard.
You get to do that, but you can no longer be a Cowboys fan anymore. Do you do it?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because you know what, though? They could say that I can't be a Cowboys fan anymore, but they can't take it out of the heart. I'll still, in my turn.
No. That would be the rule. That would be the rule.
cannot.
You could no longer ever watch a Cowboys game, root for the Cowboys, love the Cowboys anymore if you got to tackle Jerry Jones. Would you do it?
I think I would still do it because there's millions of people out there. There's millions of people out there that are butthurt because 3 decades. And so, you know what? Just to help them out, I would sacrifice. Sacrifice.
It's a good sacrifice. Way to
But
be
you also have to be a Browns fan. Because you're used to losing.
Honestly, no, think about that. Honestly, look, I'm 30 years. Basically, I'm still in the same purgatory, but at least I can, other people can have the enjoyment. Like Jesus took it on the sins for the people. I'm going to take it off the Cowboys.
Wow. Wow.
I'm going to take away all of your pain.
He just compared himself to Jesus Christ. Is that what I just heard?
Not I didn't. No, I said light.
No, that's why I was like, wow, that's the parallel we're taking. Okay.
If I got to go to church after this, you'll have to excuse me. I've got some
hallelujah.
No, but man, I mean, the Browns fans, Cowboys fans right now, we're all living in the same hell. So
that is a trip. I didn't have that on my bingo card this morning. So.
I didn't have it on there for the week.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, since you transitioned into the NFL so nicely there, I guess we had some coaches that got hired yesterday, and
we did
some surprising coordinator hires also.
Yeah, I mean, I think the obviously the biggest one here is the fact that Saleh is now the head coach for the Titans. Mm-hmm. So that
wow.
I mean,
he better have a good staff going with him over there, because that's kind of the same situation that he walked in with the Jets.
Well, I think that's why they hired him.
Team that's going nowhere fast. That doesn't seem like they have any sort of direction. They just have a quarterback. That's something the Jets did not have.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Titans have a little less history of being a train wreck all the time. Mm-hmm. Plus, they got rid of their situation that they had before, where they had the president of operations that could overrule the GM, and like they did away with some of the goofy stuff they had within the organization. So I think he's going to get some latitude when he goes there. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think it actually probably is a good fit for them.
Jeff Hafley to Miami. I don't know how that one will work out too well. I think he's just more kind of that no-nonsense type of coach versus Mike McDaniel was like a nerdy type of coach that really didn't seem like he ever had control of the locker room too much, versus I think Hafley's at least going to get that much out of his team.
Real quick, I want to come back on the Saleh thing. So if it doesn't work out with the Tennessee Titans for Saleh, if he just doesn't get it going,
he'll just be a coordinator forever after that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think that's a really big risk on his part, not so much the team's part, but on his part.
Not really, because I think they're going to be patient. Like, he's going to get some time there.
Yeah.
So that's because they
have money.
They did so much changing within that organization. I think he's going to get, if he signed, like, I haven't looked at his contract.
I think they said 5 years.
5 years. He'll probably get 5 of them, unless they are just god awful.
Because they have money to spend, and they're going to have another good draft pick this year.
Exactly.
So I mean, they're going to have money to spend. So even if it takes Tennessee, even we'll say 2 years from now before they kind of start turning that corner, they're going to have another good draft pick this year. They'll probably have another good draft pick next year. But they're going to have plenty of money to spend the next 2 years to build up that roster the way that Saleh wants it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think he's going to get a real shot there.
Yeah.
So
I think the bigger surprise is kind of the offensive coordinators that got hired yesterday. The Lions hired Drew Pitzing, the Cardinals' old offensive coordinator, after interviewing Mike McDaniel twice. Dan Campbell said he likes Mike McDaniels, but he doesn't feel that his offensive outlook is what Detroit wants. So they went in a different direction there. But the bigger surprise, which I definitely didn't see it coming, but at the same time I did, was seeing Eric Bieniemy go back to Kansas City to be Kansas City's offensive coordinator.
Wow.
That leads me to believe two things. Andy Reid might have hinted that he is not going to be around much longer. And the last time that Bieniemy was the OC in Kansas City, the thought was that Bieniemy would just take over once Reid retired. But then they gave Reid that 4-year extension, which is when Bieniemy left. So now maybe Bieniemy kind of knows, like, hey, Reid is entering the end of that 4-year extension. Maybe now's my time to get back in there.
No, I think that he just doesn't have another job. They've worked really well. The last time he was there, they won a Super Bowl. And it's been a couple years since they've all gotten the band back together. And this is also maybe a way to keep Travis from retiring. I don't know.
Makes you wonder what's going to happen with Matt Nagy, though, because Matt Nagy was the OC. He's interviewing for head coaching jobs right now. Does he get a head coaching job, or is he going to have to be forced now to take an OC job with somebody else?
I mean, a third of the league needs a head coach, so there's a good chance.
Yeah. I was about to say there's a lot of openings.
I mean, you have 10 openings, now obviously a couple of them have been filled already, but I mean, having 10 coaching openings is pretty unprecedented, really.
And it looks like the Packers are on the verge of hiring a defensive coordinator as well, Sean McDermott.
Say that again?
Sean McDermott, Buffalo Bills old coach, is on the verge of signing with the Packers to be their DC.
Interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah,
I thought he was going to get a couple of calls for head coaching jobs.
I thought he would too, but I think just the way it really
I actually thought he
seems
was
like
going to get a lot of money with Dallas.
it really seems the way that things went in Buffalo that could get really ugly this next coming year because players are not happy that Sean McDermott got fired. Josh Allen has already voiced his opinion. There's a lot of players in that Buffalo organization right now that are not happy that Sean McDermott got fired, and pretty much Josh Allen said they fired the wrong guy, that the GM should have been the one getting fired, not
Yeah,
McDermott.
of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on in Buffalo right now.
It's something that happens all the time is GMs will get coaches fired. It makes sense if you were to get rid of the GM and the coach.
Yeah.
I never get it when you have a GM that isn't producing and you only fire the coach. I mean, like if you look at the Bengals, if Zach Taylor gets fired, but they keep the GM, you'd look at that and be like, what are we doing? Right? Because, I mean, you didn't give him a way to really win with what he has. Now, if you fired the GM and Zach Taylor, you're like, fair enough. Happens plenty of times. If you fired the GM and kept Zach Taylor, you'd be like, well, I hope that new GM likes him. But, I mean, I don't know. They didn't give him much to work with on the defensive side, right? Like they've been wildly inconsistent. Now, where the head coaching comes in here for McDermott was anytime Josh Allen wasn't perfect, that team imploded.
Mm-hmm.
That's a coaching issue.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you should have the number one rushing attack, and when your quarterback is having an off night, you just can't play football at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess the owner said the GM is not going to have any say on who the next coach is in Buffalo.
Wow.
That's why I think situation in Buffalo right now could get a little bit interesting.
Well, there's been 4 articles that I have seen that says that they fired the wrong guy in Buffalo.
Yep.
Raw.
That they needed to fire
Buffalo.
Once they got him fired,
wrong guy in Buffalo. They fired the wrong guy in Buffalo. They should have fired the GM.
Yep.
No question. No question. Yeah.
And then the owner's like, yeah, the GM's not going to have any say on who the next head coach is. I'm going to have the say on that. Then why the hell did you even keep the GM around if you're not going to give him any say on who the next head coach is?
Well, because the GM is for player personnel, which he's obviously done a bang-up job on.
Well, I wonder, that same kind of situation, though, happened at LSU when they got rid of their coach, and then in that case, it's the athletic director. But then they ultimately got rid of the athletic director. I wonder, do you think ultimately that they would get rid of Bean at some point because there's so much outrage about it and Josh Allen is vocal about it now? Because I got to imagine that Josh Allen's comments about the GM, wouldn't that be some toxicity now within that?
I think he'll be gone next year if he does not improve that defense. I think no matter who they bring in as the head coach for this upcoming year, if the GM in Buffalo does not add to that defense, that GM won't be around next year.
But what is Bain thinking though? Like, what is Bain thinking when they told him, "Hey, you're not going to hire the coach"? Now, what is he thinking? Like, damn, they can't.
Basically, they're saying in not too descript words is you better nail this next draft or you're out of here too. That's what they're saying.
Yep. And for that comment that Brad just put up there with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, it's not official yet or anything.
It's not official. Brian Flores is actually on his way to Pittsburgh for a second interview right now, and 9 out of 10 times when you get that second interview, that's usually the interview where you get offered the job. So
Pittsburgh will not go offense.
No.
They also indicated they were going to take their time with this hire.
Yeah, I think Brian Flores gets hired. I think Brian Flores gets hired today by Pittsburgh, today or tomorrow if he's coming in for that second interview.
That'd be interesting.
Just because I know Baltimore wants him also to take that second interview in Baltimore. So I think Pittsburgh's trying to get to him first before Baltimore interview.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, I remember, when Brian Flores interviewed for the Houston Texans job before DeMeco Ryans took it, I was lobbying for Flores. I liked Flores. I liked him, and I liked what he did defensively. And he never got the job. Obviously, went to Minnesota. So I would love to see him get that job. And I think he would definitely help that defense out a lot.
Yeah.
Well, they need to help that whole team is part of the problem. And the offensive coordinator that's going to come with him is going to be the biggest deal. That's going to be who is going to take over that position.
Mike McDaniel.
Oh, man. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Mike McDaniel, the last 2 head coaches in Miami teaming up together.
I'm assuming Roberts isn't going to come back. Is he going to? I guess he's going to wind up retiring because that's going to put him needing a quarterback at some point.
I mean, Steelers want Rodgers back, so I mean, I'm not going to be shocked if he does come back one more year, depending on who the OC and depending on who the head coach is.
Well, I mean, the owner came out and said that the odds were low because he came to play for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
he's like, so he went on to say that. That will probably heavily influence his decision.
Yeah.
So
then you're what? You're stuck with Mason Rudolph unless you can get somebody.
They'll get somebody. They'll draft another
quarterback. Get some other, below average quarterback in there.
Yep.
Yeah, but exactly. That's my point. I mean, they still don't really have that guy that can lead the team. You're going to have some scrub guy or whatever come in. And maybe that's a good thing because maybe they do need a losing season so they can actually draft a quarterback. I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean, the pool was pretty small for this draft anyway. So
it got even smaller. It got even smaller once the Oregon quarterback went back to college. So now the quarterback pool's got even smaller.
Yeah, it's basically 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know
that's the reason why I expect that you'll see Rodgers either wind up in Minnesota.
Yep.
Because they will allow that to be like a 1-year contract to be able to do it there. I could also see Houston. I tell you, I got to imagine that they are not happy with what they saw from CJ Stroud.
And DeMeco Ryans taking a lot of heat on that because if you've noticed the last year and a half, that's when Houston fired Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick was the offensive coordinator during C.J. Stroud's rookie year when Stroud had one of the best rookie years in NFL history based on completion percentage, touchdown, interception ratio, and everything like that. Once they fired Slowick in Week 7 last year, Stroud has gone downhill in a hurry. So now Houston's like, maybe we got rid of Slowick too soon because obviously Slowick knew how to develop Strode the way that he should have been developed versus the guy they have now is not doing a very good job with that.
Yeah, I said when they fired Slowick, I said that was the worst thing they did. I said, I don't know why you'd fire that guy. But production, right? If you're not producing, they're going to get rid of you.
Yeah, he got fired because 4 of the 5 offensive linemen last year were out for the season and got CJ Stroud killed. So the offense couldn't move the football last year. Well, when 90% of your offensive line is hurt, it doesn't matter how good of a quarterback you are, you're not going to be able to move the ball.
Yeah.
Wants him to get Carson Beck.
Carson Beck can't throw.
Perfect.
Isn't he like 28?
He's 25 or 26, yeah, but since he had the UCL surgery like last year, you even saw it in the game last night. He can barely throw a football 40 yards.
No,
that's not going to cut it in the NFL. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is exactly what the Steelers draft.
Like
that being said, what's really going to happen is Carson Beck is going to be reached for in the first round by the Browns.
Yep.
They're going to keep the other guys in the room and start Watson.
Yeah.
That's the disaster that is the Browns.
Oh, that would be so awesome. The memes would be relentless.
I mean, look at the throw. Look at the last throw that Carson Beck made last night that got intercepted.
Yep.
He barely got that ball 34 yards downfield, and the receiver was like 7 yards past that ball. Like he can't throw.
Did they get rid of the GM? Out of curiosity, did they get rid of the GM in Cleveland, or is he still there?
He's still there.
Yeah.
That's a GM that I don't think should have been gone. I don't know how you do that.
Not more than shown.
No.
Yeah.
The Cleveland GM gets a little bit of a pass, and I hate saying that because he's not the one that wanted Watson. The owner of the Browns is the one that wanted Watson, and the owner basically told the GM, do what you have to do to get him here. Well, he did what he had to do to get him here, and now he sucks, so you can't really put that on the GM because you told him to go get him.
Yeah, I mean, the owner did the same thing with Shador as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the owner doesn't seem to leave football things to football people.
Yeah. That's why I think the Cleveland GM gets a little bit of a pass because it's not completely his fault that the team is where it's at. He's listening to what the owner tells him to do. The owner's like, go do this. Okay, I'll go do that. Well, we suck. Now what do you want me to do? Go do the same thing and go get Shador Sanders. All right, I'll do that too. Well, we still suck. Now what?
We got to do health checks on Chad real often if Beck goes there.
Oh man.
Yeah, Jay Shane though for the Bills needs to, or for the Giants needs to go. He should have went the year after he let Saquon go.
No,
I love those Twitter messages. They're so great.
I loved watching Hard Knocks when that happened. That was amazing.
Twitch, not Twitter.
Yeah.
I loved watching Hard Knocks for the Giants when that happened and just seeing how stupid he was with that whole situation. I'm like, how are you even allowed back in the building right now?
Yeah, there's quite a few GMs around the league that I was surprised didn't get fired. Just based on the lack of ability to get players on their team.
Right.
Like the ones that are hamstrung by cap issues from like a prior regime or, there were some trades that they just don't have draft picks. Like, okay, fair enough, right? You got to try and hit home runs with undrafted guys in free agency and whatever. Like, I get it. Some of that can be a struggle. But when you see these guys that have been in the building a long time and entire units of their team aren't getting better, and your whole job is to bring talent in,
right.
I feel like you should probably not work there anymore. I mean, if any of us were in a normal job and we just didn't do our job, pretty sure we get fired.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Jerry should have been fired already.
Pretty sure it wouldn't take years to do it.
No,
either.
there's two GMs in my opinion that should have been fired this year. One being Shane for the Giants, and then the other one being Cincinnati, just because he's failed to address the biggest need that Cincinnati's had since Joe Burrow's been there. Those should have been the two GMs that got let go, but instead it's these other GMs that are getting let go that are like, I don't know why you.
There is no way, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the year that 3 of the 4 teams were going to get fired, or coaches were going to get fired, and Zach Taylor was the one that was going to make it. Like that, I would not have believed you.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And going back to that same situation, like if you would have told me that these coaches, GMs together are getting fired, Cincinnati would have been at the top of my list saying, oh, there goes that GM and the coach because they're a package deal, and yet they're both there. And it's like, all right, I guess we're going to run it back again.
Yeah, everyone else in the division, gone. Those two guys is underperforming as you could possibly be.
I guess they like starting 1-4 every year and then getting hot at the end of the year and hoping they can play themselves into the 7 seed, I guess.
They're cheap. They're cheap. They don't care.
They are cheap.
I mean, they're not cheap when it comes to signing players, but they're cheap for the other.
They are. They signed the 3 guys that keep people in the stands, and then they paid nobody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, they are cheap. I mean, they didn't even extend their best defensive player. They're just like, yeah, here's some money to be here this year, and then bye. Like,
they didn't even give money to their top draft pick until like the week before the regular season started. After he threatened to go back to school, and they're like, well, Hendrickson's going to be gone after this year, so maybe we should cave and pay this guy a little bit.
I'm just saying, maybe football in Ohio is in for Ohio. Like maybe they should just go ahead and
really not
right. Like the last time a team left the area, they won a couple of rings. They do pretty good.
Right.
Like
the only successful football team in Ohio is Ohio State, and even they don't have the most success all the time in big games.
And they had the same problem with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess if you want to be a mental health therapist, that would be a great state to go to, because I got to imagine there's a lot of depressed people up there with the sports teams.
I mean, they're used to depression now. LeBron James left twice, so they had to deal with that phase. And then you had the Cleveland Guardians, who haven't won a World Series since the 50s. They went to Game 7 against the Cubs and blew a 3-1 lead at home. So then they had that depression phase. Like, they're used to that kind of stuff in Ohio.
I mean, I guess at least LeBron brought him a ring once.
But then he left again. And then they went down the crapper for a couple of years after he left, and now they're finally good again.
Probably came back and said, here's one for the hometown. Don't say I didn't do nothing for you. But
that's exactly what he said. He's like, here, you yelled at me for leaving the first time. I'll come back. We'll get the ring, and then I'm going to leave, so don't yell at me this time.
Yeah. He probably couldn't go back to his old neighborhood because they all thought he left for no reason. And, yeah, he had to come back and make it right so he could walk down the street.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
so if you want to bet if he's going to walk down another street, if he's going to go to another team, you could do it on BetUS.
Just use the QR code on the screen. 125% your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guaranteed. And of course, if you're here in the Pacific Northwest, use this QR code here. True Fusion Gym, free 5-day pass, any of the 3 locations: Bellevue, Ballard, University Village. Find your edge. True Fusion Gym.
Thank you, Pags, for finally picking up that bone. I've been throwing bones like that at Bo all the time, and he never picks up the weight. So I just sit here and look at him like, Bo, I gave you one. And
there was that uncomfortable silence. Like, what else do we say now? Oh, you know what? Let's bet on it.
Oh man, where do we go from here? I don't know.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So we might as well irritate people. So here we go. People are up in arms about this play, saying that he was down by contact because I guess they forget what the rule is. So here is the interception of Josh Allen.
Does he have a case? That's the question, Gene.
No, I don't think he does, Jim. I just don't think Cooks really has firm possession of the football when both players hit the ground. Quite honestly, I think by the time they both get down there and you're defining firm possession, I think it's on McMillan. I mean, he's got it up top, but I thought he lost it as he was falling toward the ground there, which wouldn't put him down by contact.
Yeah, and that was slow-mo. Here's real speed.
So the thing is, he's going to the ground, right? If he would have had 2 steps in a football move, then he has possession, right? He would have been down by contact. But because he's going to the ground, he has to survive the ground. Mm-hmm. And if you take the defender out of this picture altogether and the ball pops out at the exact same time, that's an incomplete pass. So
Right.
the same premise is alive and well in that situation, which is why it was an interception. Ball doesn't touch the ground, defender ends up with it, and you don't end up with the simultaneous catch, because for that to be a thing, they would have both had to still be hanging onto this ball. So it was the right call. But it's been funny watching the internet lose their mind about it.
Well, I think maybe, and I guess I'm one of those people. I didn't know that you had to maintain possession all the way through the ground. I thought once the knee made contact with the ground and it was still in your hand, that was sufficient. So I think maybe a lot of people don't, and including me, I didn't understand fully that rule. So
yeah, no. So if you are going to the ground and you haven't established the catch yet, you have to survive the ground. So the entire act of hitting the ground and coming to a stop, you have to maintain control that entire time.
yeah, and I think that's a part of the rule that a lot of people don't understand. I tell you right, I was one of them. So education is a hell of a good thing.
I know about that rule. The hard part is that, at what point does it become a simultaneous catch? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was brought down to the ground and touched, and the ball didn't come out until after he was on the ground and made the turn. It wasn't that
he has to maintain it the whole way. So for that to be a simultaneous catch, they both would have had to have been laying there with the ball.
Well, I get it, but you could tell he ripped it away, and that was after he had been on the ground. It didn't give the opportunity for him to lose it because he had ripped it away.
In slow motion, that is how it looks. In real speed,
Does he have a case? That's the question.
It is much faster than that.
Yeah, and that was slow-mo. Here's real speed.
This is literally just the rollover. That wasn't in slow motion, it gives you the appearance that he's on the ground and the guy rips it out. Like, it's literally them falling and rolling over. So
this is gonna now take place at the Des Bryant catch for a couple of years.
Sure, but I mean, think about it as far as the Calvin Johnson one. Right? He catches that ball. He uses the ball to help him get up. He loses it in that situation, but because he was still moving in that same motion, they ruled it incomplete, even though he obviously caught that ball. So it's just the way the rule is.
And Brian's right. That did happen in the Bears-Rams game.
It did not happen in the Bears-Rams game. The live feed made it look that way, which made a lot of people mad also. But if you look at the all-22, Adams actually lands on both feet and then leans into the contact. So he gets 2 feet down, then makes a football move. He gets tackled. The knee hits before the ball comes out. That's down by contact. So that is the distinction between the two, is he landed on both feet and then made a football move, which establishes a completed pass. This case, he's falling to the ground when his feet hit. So you have to survive the ground. It's a completely different style catch. But yes, on the live feed, because they cropped it in a messed up way, it made it look like he was going to the ground when he caught it. But if you look at the other camera angles, he had 2 feet in.
Yeah.
So.
And 1 knee equals 2 feet.
It does.
Yep.
It does. As long as you maintain possession.
That's the key part, maintaining the possession of it.
Correct.
Same thing with an elbow.
And yes.
Well, knee equals elbow equals 2 feet.
2 feet.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a math combination.
It was not a fumble because his knee was already down.
Yeah.
So
and does not equal the same foot twice.
It cannot be the same foot twice. It requires both feet. If you hop on 1 foot, that is an incomplete pass.
So we've learned all that this year.
We have.
That one was a new one for me. I was not aware that you couldn't do the hop step. It has to be 2 feet. So you can't peg leg it out there. You have to land with both feet. So yeah, I'm just explaining the rule. Both of those were actually called correctly. So There was plenty
and it'll make you wonder, will a foot and a hand, because it's not an elbow, would a foot and a hand be considered 2 feet? We know that a knee is. We know that an elbow is.
Yeah, I mean, a shin, a hip, like all of those things. Yeah, how much do they pay? I wish they were paying me. I mean, I'm just telling you what the rule is. I'm not saying that they didn't make horrendous calls the rest of the time. I'm just saying those 2 calls were correct.
Right. Well, since we're talking about the catching and stuff like that, did you guys think that in last night's game, going back to that for a second, do you think the referees let those defensive backs get away with murder most of the night? Because a lot of those passes, they just let the receiver and the defensive back just go at it and grab each other.
It was a physical game.
There was so many pass interference calls that they should have called that they just said, no, we'll just, eat the flag and not throw it on this one. And it's pretty much how it was the whole game.
I mean, the only thing I will say is at least they were kind of consistent about
it.
No,
they were consistent, but I think that also took that. I think that's why the game was also very ugly, like the first 2.5 quarters too, because all these plays probably would have been pass interference in any other game. But this game, so now it's like, well, shoot. Now it's like, how are we going to move the ball if our receivers?
Well, on their drive to get the touchdown at the end of the second quarter, there was a call on that. That they called pass interference on that extended the drive.
Yep, and that was the only
that
one
was
that
a third down.
All night.
Yeah, that was a third down call. So I mean, I like it when the refs put the flags away some, unless it's egregious.
Yeah,
right.
It's like.
The ticky-tack fouls, I hate when they call those ticky-tack.
No. I much prefer they let them battle it. But, Signetti was right being mad going into half about them beating up Mendoza. There were some that should have been personal fouls for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was the 1.5 step.
And the one that got him right in the chin with the crown of the helmet, that's targeting. Not 10 out of 10 times that was a targeting hit. That they just
and that's what I mean. Like, Signetti's absolutely going to get a fine for that, but his complaint about it was correct. I mean, and it's one thing had they been stretched out, but it was like 3 plays in a row.
Right. and I was wondering when they played this game, because of Miami being such a physical team, if they were going to call the flags and make it ticky-tack on them, or if they were going to let them go in there and muscle around like they normally do.
Well, in the end,
let them do that.
In the end, it's just as physical. That's why I think they kind of just let them.
Yeah,
muscle around and do whatever, because Indiana is a very physical team too. Like look at the game against Alabama. The first series that Alabama had, Ty Simpson threw a screen to the running back, and the safety almost took the running back's head off. And all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, Indiana came to play a little bit."
Yeah,
but I will say with Indiana too, though, that team has mastered the back shoulder throw. Those back shoulder throws that Mendoza makes to those receivers are about as picture perfect as you can make a back shoulder throw.
That's what makes him the first pick in the draft.
Like those throws are like when the New Orleans Saints were at their best, you had Drew Brees who was making all those back shoulder throws to like Marcus Colston and like the receivers that he had back then. Like Fernando Mendoza, like that is his throw, the back shoulder throw where you wait until last minute to fire it and then the receiver just turns knowing where the ball's going to be.
But correct me if I'm wrong, I heard a story where Surratt showed Mendoza videos of Aaron Rodgers doing the back shoulder throw. And that's how they got that play developed, or that.
He did. Yeah, that's what they did. But you still have to be able to master it.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, it was interesting though that how those two got together and how they got that mastered. It's interesting.
Joe, no, he got fired because he flamed out in the playoffs with none of the opposition that every excuse that's been made for him was about. So everyone's always said, "Oh, they came up short because of Mahomes and Burrow and Lamar and." Right. Except none of those guys were in there and they still failed in the second round. So,
it's interesting. I was watching Pat McAfee before the game when they were interviewing. I don't know if y'all saw the interview with Saban on Pat McAfee, but Saban was saying, I don't know who comes up with these stars. Like, how do you know if he gets 1 star, 2 like these guys don't even play football. How credible are these star rankings that they're being given? So I thought it was interesting that he was challenging how these guys get ranked, where they get ranked, because he's like, Josh Jacobs didn't get no damn stars, and he's still in the league. And some other guy, I forget the guy he brought up, but this guy was like a 4-star or 5-star guy, first round pick, and then he's not even in the league anymore. So I kind of do agree with Saban. I wonder how like legitimate those stars are given. Like, are they earned, or you know what I'm saying? Or if it's
so it's based on stats, it's based on quality of opposition. Like there's some actual legwork that goes into star ratings. Not to say that they're always right.
Right.
Brady was a 2-star.
Yep.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was a 1-star because he came from a small high school in a small town, so he just racked up yards and stats galore. But the competition he faced in high school was like a high school team playing an elementary school team. So obviously he's like, oh, you're a 1-star recruit. And then he goes to Wyoming, and the same thing. Like, he beat up on bad teams, but he actually proved that he was a good quarterback too.
James Harrison was a no-star undrafted free agent. Yeah. He's in the Hall of Fame right now. So, I mean.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think Saban was right. He's like, and I think he was talking about, Indiana having the 3 stars, but I don't think all those guys are 3 stars. I think they probably do have some 4 or 5 stars. Maybe they were just misread.
Culture can do a lot. Like you can have a team that plays as a team beat talent all the time.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Culture always beats talent. And I think we've seen that several times.
And experience too. That's the one thing that Indiana has done. Like, they've gone away from the whole trying to go after these 4- and 5-star recruits like everybody else does, and they're targeting all these 2- and 3-star recruits. But then when you get to the transfer portal, they're targeting all these players that have started 3 years already. So they have all this starter experience, and you go up in big games. Experience will always top talent because they know how to win in crunch time.
And they could be coached. That's the biggest deal. Some of these guys that they, for instance, I mean, you watch the division, the FBS, whatever it is.
FCS.
Yeah, where Montana and Northern Illinois or Illinois State, whatever it is.
Illinois State.
Both of those rosters are going to get depleted now.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to go.
You know what? And a lot of them were juniors.
Yeah,
going somewhere to play their senior year of ball, and they're going to get some money now, and a lot of those guys are not going to the big colleges. They're not going to the Georgias and the Alabamas and them, but those guys are going to be the ones that do go to Indiana and do wind up doing really well because those are the ones that have been coached and know how to be coached and actually accept the coaching and learn from that. Indiana is not going to have the most amount of people taken in the draft.
No.
But the people that do come from Indiana in the draft will be on their team for, I would say, anybody who gets drafted from Indiana this year will be on their team for 2 contracts.
Yep, because they'll be prepared and they'll be ready for the NFL. And the prime example of what you said about coaching was exactly what Signetti said when they talked about that Mendoza touchdown run. They asked them why he called that play, and it's like, we've been working on it all week. We saw them line up in this formation. I was confident they were going to line up in that same formation. That just goes to show you how much time he spends studying his opponents before that game starts to know exactly, like, they ran this formation. We're confident that they're going to run that exact same formation even after this timeout. So we're not changing the play. We're just, giving us more time to decide how we want to block it. And look what happened. He runs it in for the touchdown. That shows you how well coached and well prepared that team is. And then, like Peg said, the execution. Like, these players listen to the coaching, they trust the coaching, and they just go out and execute it.
Right.
Well, I mean, that was also a high effort play.
Oh, it was a high effort play, but even if he would have got stopped at the 5-yard line, though, he still knew how they were lining up. He still decided to go for it on 4th and 5 as opposed to kicking the field goal. Even if he didn't get the touchdown, you still had to have the guts to make that play call to get the first down. And he's like, I thought they were going to come out in that same formation, called the same play. We just changed the blocking up a little bit.
Oops. To move it where it did.
I hear your voice.
So this is the play if anybody hasn't seen it. And this is basically almost guarantees that he's a Raider.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is such a high effort play, right? Because he's making guys miss. He's realistically
Right.
should have been stopped
Like
here.
right there, just like he took out 2 of his guys plus the Miami guys. Like, yeah, just get out of my way.
And then and then the dive in, and yeah. So it's it was a impressive play. It was an impressive play, high effort play.
Yeah.
And almost, I mean, he was going to be the number 1 pick. Most people figured anyway, but then you see him in a championship game doing something like that. Sure.
I mean, the
like
guy's tough. He's tough and he's strong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that takes a lot to get through those dang defenders, you can look at his arms. I mean, he definitely has some good muscle on those arms of his, I mean,
he didn't have the
Yeah.
best game passing because I think he only had like 186-yard passing, which is low
Yep.
for him. But what stood out is whenever you needed him to make a throw, he made the throw. First down every time, like 3rd and long, he makes a throw. 4th and 5, 4th and 6, he makes the throw, and then he comes up with that run on 4th down. That's one of those genes that you can't teach as like a coach. Like you either have it or you don't have it, and Mendoza has it when you need it because he comes up with all the big plays whenever his team needs it.
Yeah, and poor guy drafted by the Raiders. I mean, he's definitely going to be a Raider, right? The good thing for him is they have 2 really talented tight ends.
Yeah.
So he
and
doesn't
in all honesty, hey, it's better than the Jets. He could have gone to the Jets. That would have been poor guy. At least
Yeah,
with the
that would have
Raiders,
been
he might
poor,
have a chance.
at least with having 2 highly talented tight ends, he's not going to have to get murdered all the time. Like he's going to have places to get the ball out quick.
And he has a good running back in Genty.
Yeah.
So I mean, they just got to work on that O line a little bit more and get that O line a little bit better.
They have $100 million to spend.
Yeah, they'll do a lot of O-line investing, I think, with that money.
Is Carroll? I'm sorry. I know there's like coach. Is Carroll? Is he out at?
Yeah, he was.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of the 10. One of the 10 guys that got fired.
So I tell you, good.
No, I was just gonna say I thought it was interesting that Tom Brady was at that game scouting talent.
Well, why? I mean, he's co-owner or part owner of the Raiders.
No, but I like that. No, I like that when the owner goes out there and looks at the talent, so he knows what he's getting when they draft it.
He wasn't scouting talent. He got invited to go to the game. He gets to be there on the sideline to watch a national championship. Why not?
And he gets to watch his future quarterback too. But
yeah, I mean, I think that had more to do with it. I don't think that he was there scouting. I think I think he'd have been able to scout just fine watching it on TV. It's just that when you have the ability to go to these games now, why wouldn't you go?
Right.
Yeah,
true.
Like I'm Tom Brady. I get to go wherever I friggin' want to. End of story.
This quarterback over here, he's going to be my number 1 pick next year.
I mean, realistically, I thought all of the 4th down conversions were almost ridiculously called. Like I don't think they should have gone for it on any one of them. But they made all of them. They literally made all of them. The Miami one going for 4th down on their own side, like on their own 30-yard line. I'm like, this could be the game right here in the first half.
Yeah.
And he almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think he was so desperate to get that offense going that he's like, man, it's now or never, man.
I never like going for it on 4th down on your own side of the field where they're already in scoring range. Like I'm not a fan of that at any level.
No. Yeah.
Right.
If it works, cool. But the downside is huge.
Very big. That game could have been over right then and there.
Exactly. Yeah. If you turn it over on your own 30 and then they just punch it in for another score, like it's almost a wrap.
So Frankie said on a post, and he actually had a pretty good one. He said that, Mendoza has known a lot of success now with Indiana. Now he's going to go to a Raiders team where he's not going to have that same level or the team's not going to have that same level of success like Indiana did because they're obviously in a rebuild mode. What coach would you put around him to develop him that's available right now? That would give him the culture
available right now because a third of the league's been fired.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying out of those coaches, though, what coach do you think would be best for him in the team to go forward?
Honestly, it's a guy that I don't think would take the job, but Mike McCarthy, I think, would be a good fit for Mendoza because he's always been very good with young quarterbacks.
Come on,
Or John Gruden.
bring in Gruden. That's what I was gonna say. Let's do this thing. Let's.
But just in general though, because even like you look at like Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, and like all that. Like Mike McCarthy's always been very good with young quarterbacks, at least like under their rookie deal. And then once they get out of their rookie deal, then his offensive scheme becomes very stale because at that point it is what it is. But if you can get like 3 or 4 good years out of Mike McCarthy to develop Mendoza, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
That does get us to the top of the hour, though. If you've been watching along with us, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. And otherwise, we'll see you all tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.